That is not NBC. This is your favorite TV station. This is Can TV, Channel 21. You are here now for the Black Star Still Rising, hosted by Stephen Silver Carter. And this program is sponsored by the Black Star Project, founded by the famous Philip Jackson, the iconic Philip Jackson, and continued by his lovely sister, Gloria Smith. That's keeping it going in terms of executive director of the Black Star Project. Want to thank you folks for being here today, and I would not be right if I did not have my usual shout outs to the people that make this program possible. And that would be Monty Payne, wavy Monty so folks can see you, and Rocio Santos. Rocio, you're there? Okay, we can see you good. Glad you're here putting this on. And without my other associate producers, that would be Dr. Mike Washington and also Ellis Taylor. So I've got the shout outs, and I am so privileged to have. I got a Morehouse man sitting next to me. You know, that truly is, now I say that facetiously in one sense, but I'm so serious about this. Morehouse as an institution, and an institution that has built and brought men together. I am so proud of them and wish if I had to go back in time, I would be a Morehouse man, along with being an Alpha man too. But I have a guest, his encore performance is Mr. Michael Roundtree, who is the Director for Operations of the Black Star Project. Michael, welcome today. Thank you for being back with me.
Thank you.
And we've got a great program. It's going to be something of interest to many of you. Viva voce. Get ready to pass this, or get pencil and paper, because many of you want to pass this on to not only your relatives, but friends, family, your grandkids. We're going to talk about internship at the Black Star Project and what that means, who might be eligible, the advantages of people being interns. We're also going to talk about a little bit about volunteerism at the Black Star Project and what that means. Michael, thank you again. Michael, tell us about a typical intern and some of the things that your interns go through.
Sure. Well, internships at the Black Star Project, they happen in a multitude of ways. We have college students who, are within their respective majors and have to go out into the community in order to gain community credits or college credits through engaging with community partners. And the Black Star Project has several engagements like that.
That's what I was going to ask you. Just a quick question along those lines. The difference between community engagement and civic engagement. Do they do both, or is it more community engagement?
Yeah, so it really depends on the program that they're in. The organization as a whole does community engagement, and some of that falls under the civic engagements. Some students come to us with backgrounds who require them to do projects that centered around developing different procedures and methods for us, or projects that require them to scrutinize or analyze some of the different data sets that we have. So it really is a individualistic thing. We have some students or some individuals that intern with us that aren't college students, but are interested in cultivating or gaining some skill. And I really think that's the powerhouse, the real power in this organization. Giving members of the community a place to come and refine skills that they have, or to learn skills that they otherwise wouldn't have.
And it's an atmosphere that Philip Jackson put into place that continues all over these years. We've got a big anniversary coming up. What's the next year? How many years has it been for the Black Star Project?
Yeah, we'll be hitting our big 30 at that point.
And that's next year in 2026?
Correct.
2026. Folks, you better pay attention, because you might have a good opportunity to be involved in doing the things necessary to make this engagement happen, this civic engagement happen.
Exactly it.
Now, Michael, just tell us a little bit about some of the areas that, well, where do they come from? What schools?
Sure.
What are their majors? keep this down because you want to pass this information on.
Well, why don't I just talk? I can talk about our current set of interns.
Okay.
Right now, we're working with 3 interns. They currently come from the University of Illinois at Chicago.
UIC, okay.
Their backgrounds are in psychology, but they are specifically concentrating in different areas of psychology.
All 3 are psychology majors, if I remember correctly, that you shared with me. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, we have one that's focusing in on our organizational development. And as you can imagine, when you think of the human resources and the people aspect of it, there's a psychology undertone to how organizations should develop. We have another that's helping us with the social media and marketing. Everyone knows there's psychology involved in how you present information, what colors we're using, when we're posting, the times we're posting, so on and so forth.
Why we're not wearing green today?
Right, on the green screen,
green
right?
screen.
Yeah, so those things are important. A little bit of technology mixed in with that. But we also have an intern that's helping out with our programming, and it's the implementation of our programming. So whether it's our Saturday University, interns that are helping the different professors or the different Saturday University teachers do their thing. Or whether it's helping set up for a special event. We just had our daddy-daughter stand, and certainly our interns were there.
I got a chance to bust about 3 moves. You missed out, man. I did it. They're on TV.
Okay.
They did a film on that. But anyway, what are some of the maybe major things that you've seen come about with the interns' participation, involvement, and what they have produced? And what's some of the success stories, if you can talk about that, after they left the Black Star Project?
Sure. Well, Philip, we all know Philip Jackson has this motto of educate or die.
That's right.
And it is paramount that we have not just models of individuals, dare I say myself, or Cortez Watson, or Lindsay Koo, my fellow directors at the Black Star Project, who are college graduates and represent their respective institutions well. We need our students to also see people not that have crossed that finish line, but individuals that are going through the race.
Okay.
And it's part of that intergenerationality that the Black Star Project has as well. We want our students and other individuals who haven't been in college to be a supporting force.
And have something to offer, to absorb,
Exactly.
and to take this knowledge and this experience out into the world, everyday world.
Exactly. Because the homey feeling that you get at the Black Star Project is likely not what you're going to get at your next corporate job. The homey feeling, the nurturing that you get here is generally not what happens in the workforce. So it's nice to create this connection for individuals, because Miss Gloria would say it, Philip Jackson would say it, once you become a member of the Black Star Project, you're a member of this family.
You're a member. You stay a member. Yeah.
Exactly. So no matter whether you intern, a year ago or 15 years ago,
It's
we
like
expect
the swallows Capistrano. They come back home to roost.
Exactly.
Or for something or another. Okay.
And the idea is that, as each year progresses, you will have something more that you can offer the organization. Until you're coming back is not something that, can happen or anything like. We expect you to come back. There's this expectation that after you grow and are given skills here, that you go out into the world and you offer the world those skills, but that you don't forget about the organization.
Well, you know what? How did you come into the Black Star Project? That must be an interesting story, how you came about. And you're not that far away from a doctorate. You working at now? Or you hesitate or in between? What is it?
I think my fellow director Cortez Watson is probably closer to getting his doctorate than me. I'm still working on my master's program, and it's a process.
And a challenge, I would assume.
Yes, very much so. I'm doing my master's in accounting. I came into the Black Star Project over, at the start of the COVID age, if you guys remember.
How can we forget the COVID age?
Yeah, right. It was chaos for everyone. Yeah. And the idea is that there was a need for us to transition our brick and mortar programs, the Young Black Men of Honor, our KLSU, our PJYDP, Philip Jackson Youth Development
Program. We're going to
Program.
have a chance to talk about that a little bit more, but go ahead and enumerate them as you have.
Those programs needed to continue, just because the world was stopping with respect to the virus didn't mean that...
issues didn't
stop. The engagement for the students needed to continue. The development of these students needed to continue. So I came on as an educational consultant, taking those programs from brick and mortar to the virtual space, if you will.
And out to the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we were still able to do our Saturday University. We were still able to do Young Black Men of Honor, just virtual, via Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
And that went over well, and I've been with the organization since. Working in operations, working in programming, making sure that we are living up to be that well-oiled machine.
And that you have to cross the T's and dot the I's in terms of especially your funding sources.
Certainly.
You have set certain goals, objectives that they expect that you will achieve, and you're the one that's making sure everybody does cross those T's and dot the I's.
Well, I can selfishly say yes, but of course it's the entire team.
Yes,
So,
okay.
so while from an operations perspective, I may have oversight of what a specific grant says we are supposed to achieve, that is then communicated to the program side so that we can make sure that that is within the curriculum of the individual classes that we have, to ensure that when we are creating the learning objectives for the different interns that we have, that coincides with what we told grant funders we're actually going to do. And so, yeah, there is a check and balance, which is why one person can't do it all, no matter how great they are. It's really imperative that we have a full team.
Tell us a little bit about, you can mention the team members.
Sure.
I mean, especially the interns and what they're doing, what school they came from, and what their major was. So those who are out there, you want to take some notes, Viva Voce, pass this on, how they came and what they were trying to achieve being an intern at the Black Star Project.
Sure.
Go and tell us who, shout out to them.
Yeah. Well, I can give a shout out to our current interns. We have Jada, we have Robin, and we have Logan. And
Okay.
again, these are 3 students from University of Illinois at
Okay.
Chicago, majoring in psychology. And they're helping us right now develop the different critical business segments for the Black Star Project. And they understand that. They are working with the fellow directors
When you say the business segment, what do you mean by that?
directly for the Daddy Daughters Dance.
Okay.
They were involved with making sure that this schedule, the plan of the day, ran the way that it was supposed to
Okay.
run. As it relates to our Saturday University, our KLSU, we just had interns helping create the different badges needed for the students so that on Saturday, the plan of the day could run, as it was supposed to. We have individuals, working with Cortez Watson, trying to establish what the nuances of our company culture will
Cortez
be.
is our soon-to-be PhD if he keeps working and
That's
doing
right.
everything he's doing
That's
for the
right.
Black Star Project. Cortez, we with you, my brother.
That's right, and I'm certain that he'll be back to share a little bit more about
Okay.
it. But we're working to develop those learning objectives so that the interns at the end of this program have something that they can turn to and relate back to their colleagues at school. Because you have to imagine that they are in classes and their colleagues are in other internships as well. And so the idea is that when they come together, we want them to have something positive to be able to offer from what they learn with the Black Star Project.
Let's be a little bit more specific than I want you to be.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody in college over UFC, Loyola, DePaul, whatever, they're majoring in something, but they can see they want to be civically engaged in some way, community engaged in some way. How do they go about knocking on the door? Say, Ms. Gloria, I heard about you. Michael Roundtree talked about you, about the programs and the opportunities. How do you get them involved? What's the process of bringing them in? Oh, some of you instructors, the professors at these schools, too, these colleges. You listen to this, too, and pass this information on, because there's some students in your class now who need to know what this opportunity would be with the Black Star Project. So you get your students involved. Tell us about the process.
Certainly. Well, I just implore individuals to reach out to us,
Okay.
Directly, and I can give our email address if we want to write this
Well,
down.
I think we should.
Yeah.
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Well, it's community info,
Write this down.
communityinfo@blackstarproject.org. And the
what's
idea,
What's the phone number?
and our phone number is 773-285-9600.
285-96. I'm going to have you repeat this a little bit later on.
Sure,
all right? But
sure.
we're going to make sure they don't. Folks, you better tell those folks at the Atlas Center on 79th and Creek Gear, at the Kroc Center, pass this information on. Viva Voce is important that this information is disseminated throughout the community so people are aware what these opportunities are.
Certainly. And so reach out to us. Let us know what your interests are. If it's the idea that you don't know yet what your interests are, reach out to us so we can tell you when our next event is. So we can tell you when we're going to be planning our next programs. The idea is that we are a community-based organization, a grassroots organization, and we don't exist without the community, without people coming to intern, without people coming to volunteer. So whatever your interest is, the idea is that that community info email address is there for you to reach out to us. Certainly we have our objectives, and I have no problem saying we could put you to work if you just show up. But the idea is that if you have interest, if you have skill sets that you want to cultivate, that you want to develop, we exist to help in that.
Do you let a little bit of the Saul Alinsky School of Organizing, does that come into play either in the civic engagement or getting folks in and involved with the community?
Certainly. I mean, the entire idea is that this is for us and by us.
Okay.
You know, we're right here in the heart of Bronzeville. You know, when there are problems in Bronzeville, we try to be reactive to that. You know, whether that's holding the special events that we have,
Okay.
whether it's going out into the community to have conversations with the individuals to garner a greater understanding. We believe in radical hospitality. Our office on 35th.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it. What's the location? What's the address?
Yeah, 3509 South Keene Drive.
Wait a minute.
It's
There's something else. There's
Suite 2B, right?
No.
Oh, Philip Jackson
I was saying,
Avenue,
hey,
right?
Philip
Right.
Jackson Parkway.
Parkway, excuse me.
Oh, you gonna?
Yeah,
Watch out! You might not get your next check if you messed up.
Philip
on that.
Jackson Parkway.
Forget that.
Which was revealed on our 25th
Yes.
anniversary.
Yes.
Yeah, so we've had that for quite some time. But the idea, again, is the radical hospitality. We're here for the community. We exist because you guys are here. And if you don't utilize us, dare I say, we won't be around. And so I'm happy for the recruitment. I'm happy for the programs that we do have running around because we are engaging with the community, and that's why we exist.
And that's why we are counting on you to pass this information along. And my guess is there are some things that the community should be pulling our coattails on. How to be engaged. What can affect, many of us are feeling uneasy, and I won't say why many of us are feeling uneasy, but we feel a need to be able to do something about to make our lives, our community's lives, much more fulfilling. And there's got to be a way, and I'm sure community people will come to you for that. If one was saying, and maybe this is the civic engagement part, what could a community leader expect to get, or what should they try to get from the Black Star Project, or what should be initiated? I'm really testing you today.
Yeah, you are. I think at the foundation of what anyone should expect is accountability.
Ooh, say that again.
We'd like to be accountable for our neighborhoods. We'd like to be accountable for where we live.
Wait a minute, is that only you? But are there our leaders, our elected leaders? Is there some accountability?
Well, you know,
Without naming names.
Yeah, I can't speak about the status quo elsewhere.
Yes.
But I can speak about the status quo at Black Star. And while we don't want people being belligerent, we do want people holding our feet to the fire.
I hope you said that. I like that. Hold the feet to the fire.
If there are needs in the community that are not being met, and our mission statement states that we are to be meeting it, then we need to be held accountable.
And it's specifically about the black and brown communities coming together to do some things that affect their communities that they're living in.
Right, in a positive way. And we focus specifically around education and decreasing the economic wealth gaps, right?
Okay.
And we believe education is one of the best ways to do that. However, we exist in the community of individuals. And if individuals are having problems, not to say we are the problem solver, but our ideas is that we are here to assist. And so we want the community to bring their issues, to bring their problems to us so that we can be reactive and proactive in helping solve them.
Especially proactive. One of the things that was talked about by one of our guests here was in environmental justice.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about that a little bit and how the Black Star Project, their involvement, their engagement with environmental justice makes a difference. And I'll tell you why. I just read an article this week about all the environmental things happened at Argyle Gardens, where it was built, the industrial waste issues that the garden, and the issues that are still coming from people who live in the gardens and are suffering from things that are a result of environmental justice not having justice. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Certainly. There are quite a few initiatives that the organization has to try to fight back with this environmental justice. Most recently, like you said, you had Mercedes Pickett, director of Earth Remedies, who's one of our great partners in working with the students on this. Black Star.
Mercedes Rave, she's out there. She's
Oh yeah, yeah, an amazing person that does amazing work. We also work with Sale Dunlap, who coined the term, if it takes a village to raise an individual, a cleaner village, we'll do it better.
Okay.
And so the idea is that if you're not necessarily educated on the things that are going on around you, some elements they'll just go over your head, right? Okay. And what Sale is making us do is to take a step back and have just a little bit of pride in what's going on around us. You know, recognizing what trash is, recognizing what blight is, but then also taking that information and trying to not necessarily weaponize it in a bad way, but weaponize it in a way that our kids can do something positive with it, right?
I think they were talking about what the kids learn, that the concept environmental justice, that's a heavy thing to think about. Break it on down just a little bit more. What the students are learning in the university, at the Saturday University?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. So from an environmental justice standpoint, they're going out into their communities and doing data mapping in the sense of looking at the different businesses that exist in their communities.
Data mapping. Okay, go ahead. Talk about that.
So they're looking at the flora and fauna. So they're able to see the types of
and the
birds.
Okay, the birds and bees.
Right.
Not the birds and bees. Okay.
Or not the birds and bees per se, but or the lack thereof diversity, or the diversity. So we're just making the students take a step back and realize and become aware of what's going on in their direct environment.
I mean, they can't be just walking through la 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 la, and like, oh, this is something I should be aware of. I don't hear the birds chirping anymore. I don't see the bumblebees pollinating. There are things that need everybody, not just the kids, but we all need to be aware of how it's impacting us and what we can do.
Right. And that's what this entire engagement is about with these students.
Now give those students, give the information to our viewers today, what the programs are and what they do. And it's an ongoing process that is done over 3 seasons, if we can call them that. You've got your winter, spring, you've got the summer, and you got your fall seasons in terms of program. Talk a little bit specifically about those programs.
Yeah, so we have our Kimberly Lightford Saturday University. And
is that held on a Saturday?
Exactly.
I don't know how I got that.
and it has 2 locations right now. One's running at our main location in Bronzeville, and there's another that runs out in Maywood.
In Maywood.
Right.
I think Lois is out there.
That's right, Lois Part, right? She came in to speak about that program. In addition to our Kimberly Lightford Saturday University, we have our Young Black Men of Honor.
Okay.
And
talk a little bit about that. What does that entail and what ages?
Sure. So that program is open to all ages. The idea is that we are working with leadership. We're working with character development with the students, and that runs on Tuesdays there in the office. Okay. What's the other 2? Outside of that, we have our Philip Jackson Youth Development Program, and that runs on Friday. And that's the whole of what we're running in the fall and in the winter. Okay. In the summer, so we got the summer. Tell us about that, the CEO. That's the one that excites me. So we have 2 programs throughout the summer. We have Young Ambassadors of Hope, but we also have Becoming Chicago's Next CEO. Okay. Yeah. And in both of those programs, we're working with students and getting them active in Young Ambassadors Hope on leadership and working in the community, And on Building Chicago's Next CEO, we're giving them critical business skills so that they can understand what it means to be an entrepreneur.
Coach Q is waving at you. He wants you to say something about the things that relate to athletics.
That's
What
right.
we've done.
Because we have our partnership with BDM Sports and Education, who is introducing students to the business side of sports. And it's important.
Oh, because everybody can't have a jump shot like mine.
That's right. That's right.
They can do some business part, all right?
Some will have to be the statisticians, right? Tracking how well you're doing.
Give folks the phone number, the address where they can get involved. Viva Voce, get ready to pass this on.
Please reach out to us at 773
773
285
285
9600.
00.
Our email address is communityinfo@blackstarproject.org. And you can find us 3509 South King Drive.
Suite
2B.
2B. Or not 2B. Not to be and not to be.
Yeah, that's right.
They
2B.
they can come on down, get involved, volunteer. There's always room for volunteers. What's that phone number again?
773 285 9600.
If they leave a message, is somebody going to call them back?
We're certainly going to call you back. We have a voicemail system, so please reach out and we'll be in touch.
And I want to thank all you folks that have been watching here today. Our folks, we've got a crew out in Denver, Colorado, that is made up from folks from Columbus, Las Vegas,
Yep.
Chicago. All are watching the program today from those locations. We stream out. Tell folks about it. 5:30, 5:55 every Tuesday. My brother, thank you for being here today.
Certainly.